Alright, starting. Here we go. Judas, can you begin? Judas. Hello? Judas, I can't hear you. Judas, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I was muted.
Hello?
You what up?
Speak up.
Dude, I wish Judas was fiance here.
Judas, sing a song. Sing an intro song. Judas, sing an intro song. Judas, come on, dude.
For the animated series, you mean?
Sing an intro song.
I can't sing. It'll be so cringy, dude.
Okay. Alright, anyway, welcome to the Late Night Judas post-Brundlecast show. It says Poet Brundlecast, oops. Anyway, Judas. We're here with Judas Star High 250. So would you like to give your takes on the this week of the Brundlecast? Please, go ahead.
Wait, did Brundlefly do more shows?
No, he only did 1 week's worth of shows. Did you see any of them?
Yeah, I saw all of them Friday night. They were really good. I felt like they could have been a lot better. I feel like Brundlefly didn't give it his all.
Really? Why's that?
He was just like so low energy in it, you know. Like I've seen when he first came. I think he was at his peak when he first came on the sports show, but I just feel like he's lost his edge. I feel like his heart. I feel like his heart's just not in it at the level that he is. Like maybe he's going through like personal issues or something that has to do with it. Man,
you think he can't go as crazy as he used to?
What?
You think he can't be as wild as he used to be?
Yeah, he's too afraid of getting doxxed. He needs to stop. He needs to break out of that and just like go full 1488. You know?
No, I think that's terrible advice, Judas.
Yeah, one day that we have to like create an environment where it's okay for people to go full 1488.
Yeah, but I don't think that it would be sensible for Brundlefly to do that given his present situation. But I think
it's too early. It's too early for it.
All right. Well, let's stick to the topic of the Brundlecast. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, but we can save it for afterwards in a
No, Brundlefly it's like anime and whiskey, dude. It's all just anime and whiskey. That's what it's equivalent to. He's not actually making any real changes. He's just like entertaining people.
What does that mean?
He's just doing a comedy show for like 3 hours.
Okay. Okay.
Nothing is really talked about on that show. Give your review.
Did you have a favorite guest?
It's just Brundlefly opining on shit, and like we're supposed to be interested because he's on YouTube. Because he's an anonymous guy on YouTube with a Jeff Goldblum avatar.
Wait, why? Go ahead. Rant, please.
Dude, Brundlefly is a fucking he's just some guy.
Fascinating assessment. Continue.
Dude, Brundlefly is frame game rated. I'm gonna fuck with anyone. This is the same voice, man.
Dude, you're onto him. I've
been onto this shit for fucking since the beginning.
So did I. We talked about this early on, remember?
Yeah, I know. Halsey News said it wasn't true, but yeah. I think Halsey News is an essay. I totally think it's possible for him to be a Fed. If anyone's a Fed, it's fucking Halsey English.
No. Impossible. Buckle.
He's a dark sider, dude. He thinks he's doing something right.
Buckle.
He thinks he's doing the right thing, but he actually isn't.
Why isn't he doing the right thing? I think
he's throwing people into the well.
So, sorry?
He's throwing us under our bus. He doesn't even talk about the miracle stories of the Baal Shem Tov. That's how I know he's a LARPing shyster.
He doesn't even talk about what? Sorry.
He doesn't talk about the miracle stories of the Chafetz Chaim and the Baal Shem Tov.
So therefore, your assessment is what? He's a traitor.
Yeah.
Wow. Hot take, Judas. All right, let's move on. More of the Brundlecast.
Brundlefly is just, again, he's just he's not even white.
Fuck off with that.
Or Latino.
Dude, that's
his
inane.
grandma
That's
is
inane.
Latino.
That's inane. Yeah, there are some people who are Latino who are 100% genetically European. You're not making a point, Judas.
I'm sorry. I believe in the one-drop rule unto the 10th generation. I think if you were a self-respecting white, you would never admit to having non-white ancestry.
But he might not. He didn't necessarily admit to that. He could be 100% European. Just happened to be colonialists from Iberia who landed in Puerto Rico.
That makes him Jewish, because those people who came there were Jewish.
No, it doesn't.
Brundlefly's
No, it
Jew.
doesn't. No, it doesn't necessarily make him Jewish. There were people who of pure European descent who aren't crypto-Jews who came across from Iberia to Puerto Rico. Trust me, Judas. There are lots of them here in America, in New York.
Brundlefly is a Jew.
All right, give me your assessment on that. Go ahead.
He just has that Jewish sharpness.
Yeah, maybe a little. The pill.
Sharpness of wit. It's not the goy kind of wit. It's a Jewish kind of wit. That's why I think he has Jewish blood in him. It's the blood of Brundlefly. Dude, end of season reveal. Brundlefly has the blood of the Hebrew in him.
Dude, that was the end reveal of last season. Okay, so Judas, your assessment of this week's Brundlecast. Did you have a favorite character who appeared?
Oh, Jones Very.
Tell me more.
Jones Very is my favorite YouTube content creator on this community. See, Jones Very is someone who you should look up to. First of all, he's not anonymous. Second of all, he's a professor at a reputable university. And he's really cool.
Same. I agree. I agree. I think that's a good take. You didn't see Jones Very on the show, though. What did you think of Josh Smith? How about him?
What can I say about him?
I don't know. Let's find out.
What can I say about God's firstborn son and his only son? I'm going to talk shit about God's firstborn son, regardless of how he's acting. I don't know, man. Talk shit about God's firstborn son and his only son is like, I don't know, regardless of what he's saying and doing, like, that's like, I don't want to tackle that, you know?
Josh Smith is God's firstborn son?
Yes.
Explain.
Dude, Hashem loves Josh.
No, but he's God's firstborn son. Insofar as he is a Jew,
only
or
son.
Stop. Insofar as he is a Jew, or just insofar as he is Josh Smith?
Because he's a Jew.
Oh, okay. So talk more about Josh Smith being a Jew.
Josh Smith is he doesn't realize that he has Kedushat Yisrael. Kedusha, it's called Kedushat Yisrael. He has the sanctity of a Jew. Dude, Josh Smith is permitted to our daughters. Our sons are he's permitted to those like Sephardi women in Israel, dude. He can technically marry one in Orthodox court.
Yeah, and I wish he would, but instead he's going to grovel to Europeans.
You have to pray for him. If you want to help him, you must pray for him.
Walk me through a basic prayer that I can do.
Say, Hashem, please help Josh see through the error of his ways and come back to his heritage, to be choser b'teshuvah and to be over you with a lev shalom.
God, please help Josh Smith return to his heritage and see through the ways of his errors, and then something else that I forgot. Anyway.
And please help Josh understand that Hashem loves him.
And please help Josh understand that Hashem loves him. Alright, anyway, Judas, give me more takes on the Brundlecast. What are your thoughts on some other characters who cropped up? We can talk about,
I think everyone who showed up pretty
Levi,
much...
Listen. You give Levi, Butterfly Flew Away, Spacetime DCR in the chat. Who else? You had...
everyone who came on is a wonderful person, and I really appreciate everything they contribute to the streams.
What do you think of Norvin Hobbs?
Norvin Hobbs is going through a lot of difficulties, and we can't judge him for what he says and does.
You once said that you were the Jewish equivalent to Norvin.
Yeah, I'm the Jewish version of Norvin. I'm Link in Norvin's Shadow Link.
So, what are your thoughts on some of the other characters who cropped up on the Brundlecast? Just give a sentence for each person, or a few sentences for each person.
Give me their names, because I don't remember all their names.
Levi Shoshan.
He's a great guy. Love talking to him.
Butterfly Flew Away.
She's very smart.
Who else was there? E. Michael Jones.
He was a very charismatic speaker.
Cynthia McKinney.
Was she like the older black lady?
I believe so, yes. One could describe her in such a manner.
She's a very good orator.
Who else? Let's see. Who else appeared? We had Handsome Truth and Sway Guevara. Did you see them?
I don't know who those are.
Ah, well, never mind. Who else? They did a little hip-hop song, a little rap song at the end. Who else?
Yeah, why? Yeah, okay, that is fucking... Okay, what happened to this being like an alt-right white nationals? Why are they bringing this Negro shit into our streams? Like, why... Like, what the fuck, dude? Rap is a black thing.
Why would it matter to you? Why would it matter to you, Judas?
And hence why I continue to say Brundlefly is not white, he's Puerto Rican. The fact that he would allow rap music to be played on his white nationalist YouTube stream is proof that he is not dedicated to the cause.
The cause?
Yeah.
What's the
this
cause?
is Tikkun Olam, bro.
What's the cause to you? Our cause has nothing to do with theirs, necessarily.
For us to reclaim our heritage. Hebrew reclamation.
Yes, I know, but Hebrew reclamation, Europeans can go listen to hip-hop in their own countries. It's none of our business.
Okay, then to that extent, that makes them inferior to us, and hence why we should not, associate with them.
Ooh,
and just remain within our own ethnic communities.
Alright, let's see. Who else? Big Cat Kayla. What are your thoughts on her? Fan?
Oh, she's a very good speaker.
Who else?
I thought everyone was great. They all had their own contributions to make. That's what makes the show special. Is that it's like how the Indians use all the parts of the animals,
Yeah. I mean,
so we're using all the parts of the animal.
Luke Ford was on there.
What?
Luke Ford was on there.
Yeah, Luke Ford was the one who started it all. All these streams we're doing is just spin-off series of Luke Ford.
No, I've been doing this since before Luke Ford. Speak for yourself.
How did you discover Luke?
Through NRX, Neo-Reactionary Movement.
When was this?
About 4 years ago or so. Maybe a bit longer.
You were 15?
Yeah, around that.
Luke was corresponding with you when you were 15?
I wasn't really talking to him much. I was just watching his show.
You waited till you were 18 so it wouldn't look bad?
No, I didn't wait until I was 18. That's not the point. I just didn't feel like I had any relevant information.
You were a really smart 15-year-old listening to like all these like reactionary Jews.
I don't think that's the gauge of a good gauge of intelligence, but I don't think I was too. I wasn't stupid as a 16-year-old. I may have been quite more intelligent.
You were interesting.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, Judas, do you have any thoughts that you'd like to give to the 6 people watching? Brundlecast, just Brundlecast. The Brundlecast is over. What's going to happen now?
Luke Ford is going to continue doing streams. People are going to come on. You're going to like flip flop on your Judaic reclamation. Talking all this shit about how rabbis amend the Torah. So is the rabbi's wife lying to me? Has she been lying to me this whole time?
Well, Judas, can you answer that question? Have the rabbis been lying to me this whole time? Have they been lying to us?
Has the rabbi's wife been lying to me the whole time? The rabbi's wife who I've had an insane crush on for the last 4 years that I'm not able to get over. She's lying to me?
What?
The rabbi's wife who I've had a crush on for over 4 years.
Interesting. Tell me more about.
She's been lying to me about this whole time.
What kind of things draw you to a woman, Judas?
Modesty and intelligence.
Describe your ideal woman.
Someone with Judas' fiance's personality.
I see. Tell me more about Judas' fiance, 330 or 260 or whatever she is now.
Actually, you should know she's 230 now.
Talk about Judas' fiance, 230.
When I met her, she was 350 pounds, and I helped. But on our first date, we knew that we were a good match, and that we wanted to get married, and we would be very successful together. And
so basically, and then you proceeded to brutally neg her, partially using humiliation of online streaming into like losing weight.
It worked, didn't it?
Yeah, but it's not particularly kind. I mean, I don't know. It's up to you.
She fucking loves my dick. So.
Fair enough.
Obviously, she does. Like.
No, I can.
She obviously loves my dick. She wants this dick. She would fuck me just for the dick.
Let's keep it clean, Judas.
Alright, sorry. I'm serious, dude. She would be okay. Dude, I could easily play her, bro, right now. Like, I could just, like, take as much milk as I want without making buying the cow a priority. If I wanted the milk, I could just take the milk whenever I want. Milk. Pretty much. But I choose not to because I feel guilty. Ejaculation makes me want to cry afterwards. And,
Alright, Judas. What are your thoughts on, I don't know, where do you think Brundlefly's career is going next?
Brundlefly needs to wake up to the fact that he needs to stop hiding in the shadows. He needs to eventually show his identity.
Why do you want him to show his identity?
What?
Why do you want him to show his identity?
Because that would be epic.
Why?
Because it would complete the saga.
What are you talking about? Complete what saga?
The saga of the the chosen few.
Oh, I see. Fascinating. Wait. Explain. Is Brundlefly like the Messiah or something?
Brundlefly is a quasi-messianic figure of the seed of Esau. He's an Edomite Messiah, in the vein of Donald Trump, because we see that it's not necessary that the Edomite Messiah be a completely righteous man, as we see with Trump, who has made errors, and he's not perfect in terms of his character traits and his value system, but he's a great helper of the Jews, and this is actually a manifestation of the midrash that says that in the end of days, in the pre-Messianic period, Esau will do teshuva. Esau will repent, meaning that the goyim will assist Yaakov, us the Hebrews, in doing tikkun olam.
Okay, so wait, there are a lot of comments. Hold on, there are a lot of comments. Persian Drum says, Butterfly flew away, made an appearance on Brundle's show many months ago, and left an indelible mark. She has a certain spark and poignant observations. Yeah, I'd agree. Where is everyone, says Tom Anderson. I'm here, says Ichi Lux. Oh, hey, buddy, says Tom Anderson to Ichi Lux. Oh, wow. All right. Fascinating. Oh, they're all here. Phase shifting through streams. They're saying Judas is highly esoteric. How do you feel about that? Would you agree?
What?
Judas, do you think this is a kid's show?
Life is a kid's show.
Fascinating. Woke take. Someone asks, any chance of you, Babs, Vivian, Ecce, and John Smith starting a regular broadcast? It would be a success. I think that's a good idea. How would you feel about that? It would be the Whack Pack show.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, I think I'd certainly be interested.
That would be a really successful stream.
Yeah. Deus Ex Suburbia is saying that Brundle did go on camera.
Brundle went on camera?
Yeah.
Are you serious? When?
Yeah, Brundle did go on camera. He was just wearing some sort of mask. Ichi Look says,
yes,
I would just raid the broadcast and play disco at inappropriate times. But Sizzle says, yeah, that would be sweet. And it's a hilarious person. Yeah, I think that would be brilliant. The show would be excellent. You're being quoted by Tom Anderson with your crying thing. Yeah, this is supposed to be a cozy stream. Welcome, Chris Alton. I don't believe I've seen you here before. Welcome, sir. Anyway, Judas, keep going. Give more of your thoughts on the Brundlecast. Tell me about what's going on tonight. The show is yours, please.
Brundlefly needs to do more streams. Brundlefly needs to stop having Duvid on.
Why is that?
I don't.
Why do you think he should?
I think
Why do you think he should stop having Duvid on?
Duvid's a lovely person, but his views are just we want to like sort of like keep him out, you know.
Elaborate.
He's Magal Ponim B'Torah Shel Lokel Halacha. He gives Torah interpretations that are not like traditional interpretations that are accepted by like the Orthodox community. Like how he, you know, like to the mitzvah of like loving the ger, he applies to like migrants from people from a country who's in halachically. By the way, it wasn't Halachi who said it, was the Ramban, the Machmanis, who codifies that halachically that only applies to converts. So you see that, you know, Duvid reads into the verses and he tries to make it conform to his beliefs. Hence why he was rejected from being a rabbi. It's very clear to me why Duvid was rejected from being a rabbi.
Duvid was rejected from being a rabbi. Tell me more.
He said that he wanted to be a rabbi. He makes the excuse like, "Oh, nobody wanted me to be a rabbi because I was a half Jew." No, it's because first of all, you're a vegetarian, and like you have like these beliefs that aren't and whatever. They're not necessarily. It's not necessarily bad. And you're someone who's like goes to Hindu temples. So I'm sure that people early on saw that like Duvid was not like brand name Judaism like Judas is.
All right. Let's see. Persian Drum says Ichi Looks live streams. You and the others have a natural rapport and soothing voices. Yeah, I think Ichi takes the cake there. Ichi and Cater.
Yeah, Ichi has a sexy voice.
We need in these tumultuous times. I agree.
Dude, yeah. I think Ecce Lux might get sick.
Oh, hell yeah. I agree that we need more composting. Yes, indeed, Ecce. And he has a passion for it. Ecce, would you like to come on the show? Or anyone else, for that matter. If anyone would like to join, I can drop a link in the chat. We need more streams from Judas's fiance too. People saying, there are people saying that they need Judas. There are people saying they need more streams from Judas's fiance 230.
Okay, help me get married to her facilitate me getting married to her and her moving in with me, and then she'll do more streams.
Fair enough. All right, so to the 10 to 9 people watching this, thank you for watching. Really appreciate it, and hope you're having an excellent evening. So, give your thoughts on the idea of a future sort of compilation show, or sort of these shows branching together. Do you think that's a good idea? Waste of time? Ecce Looks, would you be interested in coming on also? Yeah, let's see if I can get Ecce on. Give me a moment.
Dude, Ecce has become so much more right-wing since, like, he started coming on this thing.
Really?
He's like, he was talking about how, like, I'm not Steve Nash, I'm F Nash. And I was like, oh shit, I'm F Nash too. Me and Ecce have so much in common. Dude, me and Ecce both live in LA.
Really? You should go hang out.
Yeah, he doesn't want... The thing is, if we hung out, that would make us both less of F Nashes.
Really? Interesting take.
Yeah, part of being a Hebrew F Nash is to not associate with going. Like,
really? Ooh, that's hardcore, man. That's hardcore. I'm not sure if I can condone that.
I know, because you want to be like you're a multiculturalist.
Well, because I'm a rooted cosmopolitan.
I know, you have to break out of that. You need it's part of the coming of galoots.
Yeah, but there are people like that. There are people in every society who are
all this shit, this multiculturalism shit. This is the galoots.
Yeah, you're right. You're largely right. You're largely right. But there were always people living in large cities, and there were always traders.
You walk by in New York. This
traders.
is what galut is. These are the boils of Egypt.
Yeah, I largely agree with you.
Thanksgiving is like rubbing feces all over your face and celebrating it.
Well, I didn't really celebrate, so.
Good. No Jew should celebrate it.
Give your review of Thanksgiving.
Every day is Thanksgiving.
Because you're a Jew, right?
This is very obvious to me. Why should I copy the Goyim?
I don't know, why?
I am a Persian Jew, do you understand? I am a Persian Jew. Born from a Persian family. Persian immigrant family. The fuck do I have to do with Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I have a similar question to ask. I don't feel particularly connected either.
Dude, why is my family on Thanksgiving? We don't have potatoes and yams during the rest of the year. Why on Thanksgiving we have mashed potatoes and yams? Only on Thanksgiving, not the rest of the year. Only on Thanksgiving. Where did this come from? Is this like Rosh Hashanah Seder? My cousin, he insists on making hamotzi. Why the fuck are you making a hamotzi? Well, you should make a hamotzi anyway because you have to say 100 brachot a day. Yes, that is very true. It's very true. But he's making it into like a. It's like he's making a new mitzvah. It's like there's a verse in the Torah that says don't add to the Torah. Don't make new mitzvahs. Don't make new mitzvahs. Whatever that means. However that's codified. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of get where they're coming from with that.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
I just posted the link in the video description. Hello, Judas?
Oh, you know what Jones Very said to me on the stream that I came on?
What?
He said, and then I got kicked off for talking about like my little creepy fetishes when I was in middle school before I was religious.
Tell me.
He said that the reason why I can't be representative of the streaming community is because he says I quote too interesting, too anomalous.
Interesting.
And I am an anomaly. I'm totally weird. Like, dude, look at my nose.
Yeah.
Does this look like a Hebrew nose to you? No, that's not Hebrew nose. It's a goy nose.
Alright, let's see. Get some comments in the chat.
Blood.
Some people are saying, rooted cosmopolitan. Ecce doesn't know how to go on. There's a description of the video. There's like a comment section, and in that comment section, there's a link to a way to enter the stream. That's just a Google Hangout link.
Just a Google Hangout link. Let me put my hair back. Dude, what did I do to myself? Google Hangout link. When did I choose this? Let me put my hair back. Dude, what did I do to myself? Google Hangout link. I'm marrying an autistic Orthodox lady.
You what?
Dude, what's gonna happen in 3 seasons from now when Judas's fiance is pregnant?
I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, Ecce, if you're interested in joining and not forgetting to floss, there's a link. There's a link in the description. Come click the description, and
if Ecce was a true ethnash, he wouldn't even be on the stream at all.
Fascinating. Well. Listen, some people are forced to. In this age. Sometimes we need to sort of ride the tiger, as it were. Ride the tiger of modernity.
Hey, so I know where you're going with that. I don't like where you're going with that, Babs. All right?
Judas, hold on one moment. I need to go grab something to drink. Can you host the show for a second?
Yeah.
The floor is yours. Please speak.
We have to, like, drop more red pills. You know what I'm saying? We have to, like, drop a lot more red pills. But we can't be so forceful about it, because then, oh hey, Ecce, because if the Goyim like catch on, you know, like we're dead in the water at that point. Hey, good luck. The floor is yours.
Oh hey buddy, how's it going?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
I don't know, you guys are talking something about like a true ethnash would not be on a stream without group. What are you talking about?
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to Judas. He's all riled up. He's been drinking something. He's been eating sugar.
If it was legitimately like the real deal, he wouldn't be on this stream at all. He would have nothing to do with you guys. You have to get how problematic what I'm doing is.
Well, he lives in L.A., so I think that he's kind of going to be forced to compromise in one avenue of his life or another. You both live in L.A. Welcome, by the way. Thank you so much for coming on, Mr. Ecce-san. Thank you.
Oh no, thank you. Yeah, hey, thanks for having me on, guys. It's going down. Well, I mean, obviously Babs in particular. I'm only popping on for a few minutes because I've got to get to bed. I actually have some things that I'm supposed to be preparing for tomorrow, but it was just sort of funny. There was a thing. Oh yeah, that's right. Judas is saying something about how Jones very called him out on something. What was it? It was in the chat, sort of. The reason why he did something. What was that, Judas?
He just said I'm too different. He meant I'm too different. I'm like
different.
He used the word anomalous.
Anomalous.
And interesting. He said too interesting. He wasn't calling me out. He was giving me constructive critique. Not even critique. It was like giving. I don't know what to call it. It was like criticism.
Okay, fair enough. I do want to go ahead and second that idea, though, of Jones Very being one of the better content creators. The funny thing is that his content is little more than just musings, but his musings are interesting and fun to think about. So yeah, I agree. He's one of my favorites. He's a cool guy too.
I couldn't afford any of them.
A walker?
Porn blocker.
Oh, a porn blocker. I
have a porn blocker, but not a very good one. With my porn
Judas and
blocker,
Ecce, or I'm curious, Ecce, what are your thoughts on the idea of like a big meta crossover stream of all the Luke Ford Whackpack and Brundlecast Whackpack associates joining together? In the meantime, I'm just quickly running to grab some water. I'll be back in 30 seconds.
Okay, well, I'm for it. obviously, I'm gonna have to say that a second time because Babs is off getting water. But of course, I'm for it. It sounds cool, man. Any time there's conversation, I think it's good. Conversation is always good.
But yeah, people like to call me a degenerate, and like Norvin called me a pervert once, but yet I am the only person on the internet I have ever met that even has ever talked about porn blockers and has a porn blocker.
Well, it's also worth mentioning that, I mean, come on. Norvin talking to you. Come on.
He called me a pervert.
Yeah, he's gonna call you names, yeah.
I don't like that.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it sucks when people call you names. I'm just saying that, I mean, it's...
That was, no, what he said was very venomous.
Right, but coming from Norvin, it's to be expected, is all I'm saying.
I wish Norvin would just go away.
He can be very uppity, I do agree with that.
So yeah, crossover show, what are your thoughts?
Guys, yeah, more crossovers.
I like it. I think it's a great idea. Seriously, I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah. So Ecce, would you like to talk a little bit about how you and me first started out, like our first interactions? You first saw me on the Andy Worski show, and I saw your video, and it started there.
Wait, is that where I saw you first?
Yeah, that was our first interaction.
No shit, really? Cool.
You did, isn't that right? Unless there was something before, where you saw me before.
I don't remember. I mean, it was so long ago. The only thing that I remember is that you invited me to your stream, and
that was
I decided
one of the first streams you were on.
No, yours was the first stream I was ever on. The first time I ever streamed with anyone in any context, whether with someone else or with myself or on my own. It was actually with you, so I credit you. People they associate and they say, "Oh, Ecce, you're a part of the Luke Ford sphere," and in my own head, that's simply not the case because for me, the person that was the initiator, so to speak, was actually you.
Yeah. Well, sorry. Could you repeat that last bit?
Oh no, just that the one who initiated my streaming was actually you.
Yeah. Oh, well. Yeah, well, that's fascinating. I mean, I wasn't quite sure that was the case. I just wanted to, clear that up. Well, hold on one second. Let's see if I can turn some of my background noise down.
Yeah. Yeah, my first streams, of course, were completely retarded because I had no idea what I was doing. I barely knew how to,
you were
push
there. Luis Diaz was there, I think.
Luis Diaz, he might have been there. I mean, geez, I don't even remember who was there for the early ones.
Yeah.
But all I recall is the absolute horror of being unable to figure out what buttons to push. I actually had to ask people to walk me through a couple of the things to do. So now I, by comparison, wow, I made it up to Bush Leagues, hurrah, hurrah. But yeah, for those first few, good God, I had no idea what the hell was going on. Fun though, fun.
Well, I hope you're enjoying OBS. And Persian Drum says, Brundle said it best, or Brundle said it best. We can all be friends, even if we are ethno-separatists that choose to live under our respective governments and societies. And I agree, because I personally think that if some sort of repatriation is going to happen, let's say, some basic level of cooperation simply on a logistical level would be ideal for such things to be handled smoothly and cost-effectively.
Yeah, but even then,
also,
I really,
someone's asking you if you believe in the
like...
Immaculate Conception in the stream.
Well, okay, but I want to get back to that idea of being friends with people who are out-group. I don't think that there's anything wrong with being friends with someone who is out-group at all. I don't think there's an issue with that. I really don't. I mean, of course, there are other considerations, who is this person, so on and so forth. I'm sure there's a lot of other things that go along with it, but the concept of simply being friends with a person who is not of your ilk, I don't see that as being inherently bad. So I think that some people, they go a bit far with that. That's just my own opinion, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, I mean, no offense or anything, but, are you family? No, you're not family. No offense, you're just not family. But that doesn't mean that I have to hate you or revile you or avoid you or anything like that. We can still shake hands and chit-chat. We can still shoot the shit.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that being able to do that makes you, not only does it allow you to sort of gain more knowledge, whether it's from a truly kind of like Duvidian, like hyper-positive perspective, or whether it's from like a hyper sort of negative, like know thy enemy perspective. I think it's valuable either way, but go ahead.
Okay, I think I understood what you said. You were saying something about how, oh no, I lost it. I'm sorry. In a few minutes, I'm going to have to let out because I really do have to get going to bed.
You're going to go into a peanut butter coma? Sentence? How was your Goisgiving?
Oh my god. Okay, so we're going to change subjects. That's fine.
I mean, we can talk. You can talk about whatever you want. I just want to. I'm kind of want to prioritize and triage if you're going to be leaving soon.
Okay, fair enough. My Thanksgiving was nice. Overall, I liked it a lot. I went to. This isn't doxing, I don't think, but I went to two relatives, to the homes of two sets of relatives, so that was pretty cool. I got a chance to see people, so that was actually really, really cool. I got to see some cousins that I haven't seen in months and months and months, so I really enjoyed that. And I used to be a lefty, and there's one set of aunts and uncles that have been rather taken with my change of heart, moving from being a latent liberal to a non-liberal. Now, of course, I don't dare say a thing about my actual thoughts because these people are standard Republicans and all that entails. So I can't really talk about my core thoughts. They mean well, and I do like them, and they're very generous and they're very hospitable. So obviously, I'll never speak ill of them. But it is just sort of funny, though, that there always seems to be this idea of here in Los Angeles of masks. What can you talk about? What can't you talk about? Who are you dealing with? What are they capable of hearing and understanding? These are real questions that pop up. It's just funny that even in a context that one would imagine should be amenable, even then, strangely enough, I find myself saying, maybe I'm going to cool off on that thought pattern. Maybe it's something that I can't really bring up. But I mean, it was still good. It was a great time. It was a great time. It's just funny that they're talking about, oh wow, did you hear about that Kavanaugh thing? That's like that was the most impressive thing that they'd ever heard of in their life. Judging by what they were saying about it, it's just funny. But anyway, it was a good time. It's a good time. I liked it. It's nice. Good food. My cousins, one of my cousins made some food. Same cousin, incidentally, that rescued my kitten. My kitten is a stray, and she was actually too young to live on her own. Her eyes were still closed. She wasn't even capable of going to the bathroom on her own. My cousin, incidentally a dog person, she had to actually manually massage my kitten to get her to pee and poo because she was too little to be able to function normally. So my cousin, who is not a cat person, actually went way above and beyond the call of duty to get my cat to be healthy and happy. And as it turns out, she's also a pretty good cook, so it's pretty cool.
So you're a cat man,
close to your cousin?
What's that?
Are you close to your cousin?
Not terribly, but I still like her, and I wish that I was closer with my family. That's my own thing. I've always been a little bit of a hermit. It's not too cool, but
I relate.
What's that?
I relate.
Yeah, it's I wish that I was out there a little bit more. because my family, they are cool. They really are nice people. So, every time I go over there, they're very welcoming. They're very warm and friendly and happy and pleased to see me and whatnot. So every time I go, I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, dang it, I wish I had gone sooner. I wish I had, gone earlier in the year or something. So maybe I'll make it a point to do that this year.
Yeah. So what's on your mind tonight, Ecce? Anything that you'd like to say? Anything that you'd like to say in the wake of the Brundlecast?
Nothing too much, I guess. I mean,
there's one thing. Jones Very.
What's that?
You were going to respond to Jones Very, unless you finished that.
No, but no, I'm gonna drop that one. But no, because I have to get going because I'm really tired. But no, I did want to say that I think the blood sports thing is largely dead at the moment because most of the air has been let out of that. However, I do think that conversations between people who disagree, there's some merit to it. There's something to the idea of people actually exploring ideas when they disagree with each other and sort of feeling out the outer edges of what they think is acceptable and where there might be overlap in thought and whatnot. I think that this is actually a good thing. So when, even though obviously I detest Duvid's ideological stance, yeah, well, at the same time, there's at least something good that came out of that, which was that I saw what a retard I can sound like when I allow myself to sort of fly off the handle. So if nothing else, there's a...
Are you talking about the Ecce Massacre episode?
What's that?
Are you talking about the episode on my channel titled Ecce Massacre, where you and Duvid had a bit of a tiff?
Yeah.
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 I personally think that that's a classic. I enjoyed listening, but I mean...
Okay, well...
I know exactly that one years, decades from now.
Yeah, I sounded like an asshole, but that's fine. Anyway, the thing is
I mean, I think no party comes out of that unscathed.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with the things that I said. I only disagree with the tone, if that makes any sense. The arguments, I should say. Some of the words, obviously, I went a little too far. I mean, I went straight ad hominem, but whatever. Anyway, that's a separate issue. What I will say, though, is that I think that there's something to be said for people who disagree talking with each other. That is lacking right now in like society, just generally, people who disagree having discourse with each other. So I think there's actually a lot of merit to that. So, I mean, if when you talk about, when you were talking about a crossover, what do you think about a crossover? I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, I'm a subversive cosmopolitan Jew, so that's exactly what I would say.
Of course, yeah, naturally. You'll agree only when it's convenient to agree, and you'll disagree when it's convenient to disagree, right? Isn't that the...
Yeah, what are your thoughts on our conversations and arguments with Duvid thus far, and your interactions with him? They've really progressed over time. It's kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, I actually, because I remember watching, God damn it, I keep saying I have to go. Okay, I'm gonna say until, 12:25 my time, so in just about 7 minutes, because this is just an interesting enough idea that I want to give it 7 minutes. I actually think that it's interesting that I went from being flustered by Duvid to now, it's hard to explain. I largely think that there's nothing to be gained from me directly interacting with him, other than to point out like inconsistencies in his own thinking. Obviously not because he will appreciate the inconsistencies, but instead so that an audience member might have them pointed out. Like maybe there'd be a new person listening or something, and that new person, it would be, I think, beneficial for them to see that there are inconsistencies with his thought process and with his value sets.
Such as, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, mostly it's just a matter of multiculturalism for thee, but not for me, this sort of a thing. I mean, I do understand that he's a multiculturalist for Israel too, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about his own inner life and whatnot. How do I phrase this? He wishes to retain his Jewish identity, but the problem is that on a larger level, when you start to do the vast multiculturalist experiment, it naturally degrades identity. So from his standpoint, it's perfectly acceptable, but the problem is that he is undermining other people's identities, and he doesn't see that. He doesn't seem to understand that while his identity remains intact, he is directly attacking other people's identities. So while he is willing to die for his own identity, he is willing to hurt other people's identities to the point of dissolution. I don't think that's good in the least. And I think that is a not only a contradiction, but that's a point of ire. Indeed, not only is it a point of ire, that's cause for people to...
That's basically the wall that you and Duvid hit in every single conversation. And
what's that?
That you hit that impasse with Duvid in every single interaction, it seems like.
Yes, I know. Because for me, that is the primary issue. That is absolutely
what I don't understand about Duvid is that he's okay with neighborhoods that are segregated along cultural, ethnic, or religious lines, but he's not okay with polities in the indigenous regions wherein cultures, ethnicities, religions, etc. developed. It boggles my mind. I don't quite understand. Or maybe he's just speaking in the context of America when he says that. I'm not sure. I would send him an invite, but I don't think he's awake right now.
I think he's thinking about that on only a local level. I've come to the decision that I simply find it easier to regard him as being intellectually myopic. This is going to sound a little bit crass, and this is technically an ad hominem relative to my own thinking, and I can't help it. He's not here to defend himself. So I don't like that I'm about to say this, but just for the sake of discussion, it's worth mentioning. I regard him as kind of an NPC. What he tends to do is he makes pleas to authority all the time. He makes pleas to tradition all the time, and he makes plea to the crowd. What is that called? I forget what that one is. It's one of those. Plea to popularity. I think that's what it is. Plea to popularity. He does those all the time, and in my own opinion, that's completely lazy thinking, because you're not looking at the internals of the of whatever position you're trying to hold. You're not looking at the premises to see if they mesh with each other. I find that to be a really big problem with his thinking. And so when you ask the question, or rather when you speak of, I'm confused as to why he, or rather, does he think about this only in the context of American neighborhoods or whatever? It's like, well, it depends on when you're asking him that question. I mean, like, literally, in time, it depends on when you're asking him that question relative to other questions you've asked him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Continue what you were saying before about just your interactions with David overall. I didn't mean to derail or anything. You were on a bit of a good pace there. So you say that your interactions with him have changed substantially.
With regards to, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
You said that your interactions with David have changed substantially.
Oh yeah, only in the sense that, let's see, I used to fly off the handle, and now I'm a little more calm about it. Not a lot, but I'm incrementally more reserved when I interact with him, and that's a good thing, I think. And it's sort of like, yeah, I'm starting to understand the concept of the argument is over. And when you have a hard impasse like the one we were just discussing, I mean, that's it. That's the end of the argument. And the problem, and this is a very real problem, the problem is that after you hit that impasse, if there is not a disengagement, there is the possibility for escalation, and the escalation could move to physical violence, and I don't like that at all. Obviously, this has never happened to Duvid and I, clearly, but I'm just saying that because the interaction between Duvid and myself, that's almost a microcosm of what's going on in Western civilization right now. Okay, so while Duvid and I are just a couple of, jerk-offs that stream every once in a while, we're talking about a larger set of mental patterns that are coming into conflict. And those mental patterns coming into conflict are being held by people who are not me. And those people who are not me, coming into conflict are being held by people who are not into conflict. Someone's putting a microphone, hearing myself double. Held by people who are not me. Is that? Oh, that's you.
Sorry.
That's you.
Oh, dude, sorry. Take it from mental powers coming into conflict. That's my bad, dude.
Okay, it's fine. The they have access to power, and they have access to weapons, and they have access to people who can function in groups. So this whole thing of dissolution of identities, this whole thing of undermining civilization, of population replacement, and so on, I don't see any other possibility than that it must come to a head. It must be openly discussed. And when it is openly discussed, I fear that it will not be within the context of a couple of, dorky streamers like me and Duvid, that it could indeed manifest as a very real physical altercation between groups of people, and I don't care for that at all. And amongst my
Duvid knows jujitsu.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter because he's going to be going up against people that have AR-15s.
In the chat, Persian Drum says Duvid is a faux munificent menace. He epitomizes the phrase, a lack of introspection. Just one man's opinion. And then Vegetable says, I don't think Duvid's autistic either. He's just retarded. Stop appropriating culture. What are your takes on Duvid's autism? I'm curious. What's your take? You think so? I mean, I can see it.
Who, me?
Yeah. You think Duvid's a teast?
Well, yeah. I mean, God, just listen to him. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, God damn it. I said that I was going to leave at 25 and here it is 27, and you asked me an interesting question. This is the problem with you, Babs. You ask interesting questions.
My apologies.
What's that?
My apologies. Should I be like Luke Ford and start asking you sort of salacious questions about your personal life?
No, God, no. Mostly because I don't have anything that's interesting to say. But going back to Duvid's lack of introspection / autism or whatever, I am inclined to agree. Because because he says this often, he says, I'm not thinking about, he had a phrase for that. What was it? I don't think about the people, I'm a numbers man, or something like that. Translation. I'm not concerned with the with how it affects people.
Ooh, that's a great Duvid quote. That's a really deep, intense Duvid quote. I like that you unearthed.
Yeah, and that's not good. That's really, really bad. It's very, very bad that Duvid would refrain from thinking about the emotional impacts and the psychological impacts of the things that he's espousing. because he's literally saying, I don't care if people get hurt. He's literally saying that. He is okay with thinking about things in economic terms, and he has nothing to say about whether or not people suffer psychologically because of the things that he's advocating. He doesn't care.
Well, I mean, that's my perspective.
Right, well, now here's the thing. I regard that as being somewhere between... I would say that it's on the spectrum of like formal, actual, literal autistic thought. And, you know, I know that word is bandied about a lot, and most of the time it's inappropriate or inapplicable or whatever. But I think that in the context of Duvid, I think there's an argument to be made that there may be something there in his case.
Interesting. So give me some more of your thoughts. I mean, you were talking about the timeline of you speaking to him. Talk about the saga of that. And what era are you currently in now? You say that you don't speak to him because you don't find it useful?
Okay, I'm giving this 1 minute because I've got to go to bed.
All right. Just sort of wrap things up. Give it a nice conclusory.
Yeah. Just that I think that I understand where he's coming from. There's nothing to be gained from it. I'm never going to change his mind. I think he's intellectually myopic. There's no way that he's going to change my mind because he's fundamentally attacking my entire civilization. So as far as I'm concerned, there's no compromising with that. You don't compromise. I mean, I used the word cancer. It's, you know, a bit much, but, you know, whatever. But you don't... His program, his ideological program, his worldview is inherently destructive. You may, I think, liken it to the nothing from The Never-Ending Story.
That's my favorite movie.
Yeah, I liked that movie as a kid too. Yeah. But I mean, just think about what he's all about. He's all about mixing things up and, you know, relativism and all that good stuff to such a degree that everything becomes largely meaningless. And that's what I mean by his ideological program reminds me of the nothing, and there is no compromising with that. You cannot compromise with that. So the way that I look at Duvid now is the only thing that can be done is to point out the danger inherent within the things that he's advocating. Yeah, that's the only thing that I can see. It's the only benefit that I see these days.
If you have time for one last question, that is, how mainstream do you think Duvid's ideals are, and in terms of how they're reflected in terms of both the overall American populace as well as the American Jewish populace, from your Goy perspective, just guessing?
Okay. His views are 100% mainstream in terms of what's represented on media. In terms of what I see within the Jewish population, and of course, you know, I'm using broad strokes. I'm using more the genetic as well as the cultural, as opposed to one or the other. I would say that there are a fair number that seem to have his general mentality, though not as explicit or finely detailed. I know quite a few people who are Jewish, and there are, for better or worse, there are patterns. And amongst the patterns, one of them that I have noticed is a tendency toward breaking things down. Deconstruction, for want of a better word.
Idol smashing.
Yeah, basically, yes. And So in that sense, I would say that, Duvid's ideas within the Jewish community are, I don't want to say they're mainstream, but they would be compatible with a lot of the things that I've heard from other people who are Jewish. So I'm going, soft on that one. It's like a tacit yes. They are kind of mainstream. And there's one more layer. You had asked about 3 different layers, right? Oh yeah, no. The last one was implicit. That's right. Mainstream America, are his ideas held by mainstream America? And I'm going to differentiate between Jewish people and non-Jews here. And I'm going to say that there is lip service in mainstream America, but I'm finding that there is a lack of support for those kinds of ideas among non-Jewish Americans. So, for example, with my family, God damn it, here it is. It's fucking 34. I'm 10 minutes out now. Damn it. How dare you, Babs? This is terrible.
Welcome to the Babs cast. You aren't leaving
Yeah, no,
anytime. It's like the Hotel California.
I'm doing this to myself. I know it. It's okay.
Hotel Babsifornia.
Yeah, no, you're being horrible and subversive, asking me questions that are actually funny and interesting. But no, just think of my family.
Subverting the goyim by making sure they don't get enough sleep.
Yeah, that's right. But no, think of my family. My family, they were upset at the things that they're seeing in their own city. And what was the thing that they're seeing in their own city? They were seeing the multicultural shithole that it is becoming. And they were seeing all of the effects and how it impacts their life negatively. I could go into detail, but I won't. Basically, just imagine what it's like in San Francisco and scale that down. That's what they're going through right now here in Southern California. And they are not cool with the multi-culti bullcrap that they're experiencing. So there may be lip service in theological program, his worldview. What's that?
Sorry, go ahead. No, that was an accident. You said there may be lip service. You said there may be lip service.
There may be lip service and water cooler talk, but that's it.
So interesting. And in terms of Jews, as a goy, what would you estimate? How many of them? How many of us would you say hold opinions like Duvid's?
Hold ideas like Duvid?
Yeah.
It's tough to say. I can think of several off the top of my head. In terms of percentages, many of the ones that I know are largely secular. That is to say, genetically Jewish, but they have no interest in any of the idea sets of Judaism. So I would say that there is, they were raised around some of these concepts. They may have a mentality that has a little bit of overlap with some of these ideas, but it's largely non-pursued. They don't aggressively go for it or anything, or try to shill for it. So it's a fair point to say that the ones that I know, because I'm a hermit, I basically only interact with them here and there. I don't go to their house and hang out and talk to their families. Be like, so what are you doing to subvert America? I don't do anything like that. So for all I know, they might be Duvid in the closet. For all I know, I have no idea. But I will absolutely say that I've seen enough of them to know that they're not an insignificant portion. And Duvid is scaled up to volume 9. Most of the Jewish people that I know that have idea sets that overlap with his, they're all the way down at level 1 or 2 at most. A couple of them are up at like I actually do know a couple that are like 4, 5, and 6. Duvid is an anomaly. But yeah, like the section of Los Angeles that I hang out in, I don't hang out in an area where there's a lot of deeply religious Jews. I hang out in an area where they are largely secular. So that's just my experience. And obviously, my experience is only relative to the few data points that I have access to. So, take me with a grain of salt. All the qualifiers you can think of, definitely apply them to me.
Okay, interesting. Always just good to hear an outside perspective. Do you have any last thoughts before you head to sleep? Any last things, messages for the audience, messages for specific people?
Yes.
There are 20 people watching the stream right now.
Yes. A very important point, which is protect your hearing. Protect your hearing. Anything above 85 decibels can move into permanent hearing loss. 85 decibels is yelling. So don't listen to loud music. If you go to a rock concert, get earplugs. If you're listening to things on the headphones, turn it down. So, because your hearing will go away and it will never come back. It only ever degrades. Yeah. All right, boss. Cheers. Yeah, Judas. Cheers, buddy. All right, Babs. Thanks again. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you for coming on, my Goy correspondent, Ecce. All right, let's see. Anonymous says, neglecting sleep is the worst thing you can do to yourself. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I unfortunately have a disorder that really messes with my sleep cycle, makes it almost impossible to sleep at normal times. My sleep cycle is quite skewed right now. Bernard Brightson says there's a clip that he wants me to see, known as Luke quoting Al Goldstein. Persian Drum says, please, Baracha, me, Rabbi Babs. Baracha, define. Luke, Judas. Judas? Judas? Judas?
Yeah, I was...
Judas?
Yeah, what up?
Define Baracha.
Bracha? Oh, that has multiple meanings. Well, let me wash my hands. I was just the rest. That's why I didn't say hi.
Sorry, I come from a very secular background. Okay, so Vegetable says big time superiority complex. Hold on. Let's see. Lit Sigil says, yeah, everyone is sick of this crap. Everyone is just scared or guilty to say it. It's only the extreme left who truly believe it. This is in regards to what Ecce is saying. And then, let's see. Chris Alton says, Duvidians. Anonymous says, Duvid is correct. Diversity is good. To identify ourselves, we have to experience difference through others. Smoke weed and use the internet to cope with the social consequences. Yeah, that's the Duvidian take. Chris Alton says they're very mainstream, mostly goy. Vegetable says the study of Duvidianism wouldn't be my first choice of scholarship. Good God bless Babs, though. You're not going to find a goy to study this, dude. Nah, some autist will. Anonymous says tolerance. Vegetable says something is there to be learned, but not anonymous. And then, let's see, finally, let's see. Am I from Long Island? No, I'm not from Long Island.
Can I read the Bible?
In a moment. Chris Alton says, who's my favorite visual artist? And I'm saying, like, I really like both. Lately, I've been really digging Constable and Modigliani. I liked a lot of surrealist artwork as a child. It sort of visually spoke to me. And I kind of I liked surrealist artwork because then I could sort of form a narrative around the surrealist sort of vision that I was seeing. Bill says, what's this I hear about Brundle being Puerto Rican? Yeah, Brundle's part Puerto Rican, but that doesn't mean that he isn't European of descent. For instance, there are many people I know who are Puerto Rican who are 100% European descent from Iberia. So I don't think it's necessarily really relevant. Chris Alton says, do I think a god is watching us? Yeah, I'm inclined to think that a god is watching us. I'm also inclined to think that our ancestors are watching us. What are your thoughts, Judas?
On what?
The idea that a god is watching us, or our ancestors are watching us.
No comment.
Alright, fair enough. Persian Drum says, marginalized movements attract marginalized people. Bab's impression of Luke Ford needs to be archived for future generations to study. they're talking about Immaculate Conception, the Bible's account of the church and like Christianity and stuff sort of like that. Anyway, since Ecce's gone, we're hemorrhaging viewers. We are hemorrhaging viewers since Ecce's gone, and people are like, oh god, it's Judas here. We have to listen to Judas, he's going to read the Bible. Let's see, James says, I also suffer from Adderall. Yeah. Hilarious. No. I actually suffer from a circadian rhythm disorder. You may have heard of it. But, yeah, it's not fun at all. Yeah. Bill says, I sleep good, no guilt. Ready to fight for my people. That's good to hear. James Law. Frickin' Judas, here we go. Do you remember the first reaction of Luke's chat to the first ever appearance of 200% Jew? Says James. Vegetable says God experiences our entire existence in one moment. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Yeah, and yes, I agree with Bill as well. Our ancestors are watching us. Venerate your ancestors, not some desert god, if you're a goy. Alright, I venerate my ancestors and a desert god, because I'm not a goy. But, you know, horses for horses. I agree, people should do that.
I have some stuff on
their own respective traditions. See, the interesting thing is, for Christianity, well, sorry, not Christianity, for Europeans, rather, I can understand the appeal and draw of Christianity, but I can also understand the draw towards indigenous religions for Westerners. I understand both views, because it's like, and you know, because you know, Judaism is an indigenous religion, and so therefore, and I mean, I can understand why others would want a religion that specifically incorporates their own ancestors into the tradition. He created time and space. God is above our reality. Anyway, Judas, the floor is yours. I'm going to grab some more water and use the restroom. Go ahead.
Alright, I'm going to read you some stuff about the afterlife, since you guys are asking about the afterlife.
You could read some comments, too. You could always read comments, Judas. I think they like to be read.
Alright. Let me just check the comments first. Hold up. Alright, let's see. Unable to connect the chat. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Juicy drama featuring Judas. Alright. I can't get the chat. Hold up. Nope, not getting the chat. Christianity is better. Fuck paganism. Paganism has nothing to offer. Paganism is garbage. Alright? Paganism is garbage. Christianity is garbage. Islam is garbage. Hinduism is garbage. Buddhism is garbage. All of this is garbage. Only Judaism is right. Alright? Only Judaism is the right religion, okay? Alright? Hope that's understood. Hold on, I'm trying to find some.
As a Jew, would you say Christianity makes it easier to control Europeans?
Yeah. It is a universal custom among the Jewish people that when a person dies, his children or other relatives say Kaddish over him for close to 12 months. Similarly, his children commemorate the anniversary of his death every year by saying Kaddish on that day. Saying Kaddish creates a bond between the person reciting the prayer and his Father in heaven, for he sanctifies his holy name by declaring, Yitkadal Yitkadash Me Rabba, may his great name be exalted and sanctified. But even more, it brings honor to the soul of the departed, for every Kaddish is a memorial honor to the soul of the departed, for every Kaddish is a memorial to him. Saying Kaddish is beneficial to the souls of the departed in other respects as well. Not only does it ease their suffering in the afterlife, but as Ari HaKodesh writes, it brings the soul of the departed into Gan Eden, heaven, and elevates it to ever higher levels. It's for this reason that Kaddish is recited even on Shabbat and festivals, when the souls of the dead suffer no punishment in the afterlife. The Or Zorah, which was a Rishon, cites an incident in the life of Rabbi Akiva, which should have leave us with the appreciation and the importance of reciting Kaddish. Rabbi Akiva had a vision of his soul suffering and agonizing torments in the afterlife. He learned that a young son survived the deceased. Rabbi Akiva found the boy and taught him Torah to the point that the boy was able to recite Kaddish in the synagogue. It was revealed to Rabbi Akiva that as soon as the boy said the Kaddish, his father's suffering was eased. This instance teaches us that even if a person has led a sinful life and deserves severe punishment, having a son who says Kaddish for him is an important factor which lessens the intensity of his punishment. What do you think of that? It's pretty good. Did you like that? Hot take? That was some mystic teachings for you, dude. That was like the mystic teachings. You're learning the Kabbalah about. Dude, it's past midnight. It says that you're supposed to learn Kabbalah after midnight. And only after midnight.
Alright, teach some Kabbalah.
Oh, let me find one of my books. We're gonna learn...
Okay, hold on. Let's see real
Kabbalah. We're gonna learn about my Hebrew name Matityahu because Hanukkah is coming up.
Okay, wait. Lit Sigil says Christians say that their God is great because he has infinite forgiveness. Why would I want to worship someone with infinite forgiveness? Interesting. The Jewish God does not have infinite forgiveness. Or does he? I mean, he's capable of it, but he's not just... That's not his exclusive mode. Chris Alton says, what could possibly secede, rather, I think. Or what would possibly come after Christianity for Europeans? Chris Alton says that. I don't think anything could, really. Necessarily, unless there's some sort of, like, a kind of materialist next path thing. I mean, some people talk about, like, I don't know, like Nietzsche and this. I don't know. I don't know what's good for Europeans. I could have a European on to talk about it. I just did Ichi Lux on. I could have asked him. I do love to have guests because it's kind of difficult for me to carry the show exclusively on my own, especially having recently had a major surgery, so that kind of messed me up. So it's kind of hard for me to like think and focus and concentrate. But yeah, and then keep Judas in line on top of that. So it's creating new spiritual rituals is not difficult. My frat initiation was more spiritually powerful than any church service I've been to, says Lit Sigil. Interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting. And I think that fraternities and sororities, in the classical sense of the word, brotherhoods and sisterhoods, as well as just sort of secret societies and public societies in general, and clubs, should be something that is much common. Like, people don't do clubs anymore. Clubs used to be a big thing. Let's see. People say. Bill says, I hear some Europeans talking about why they should be pagan. How about a civic religion that works for the expansion and improvement of the people, rooted in national socialism, says Bill. I don't know. And Chris Halton says brotherhood for sure, but not the same as religion. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, Chris Halton. However, religion, or finding true spirituality, like connecting with that in the modern context, can sometimes be difficult. from a lot of kind of Zoomers and late millennials who are raised in the, or just anyone in general who is raised in the sort of present climate or is inclined towards kind of materialist, atheistic thinking in general. I think that often those people are just kind of, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's good to read things from the chat. Judas, do you have any comments on anything from the chat? The link is in the description if anyone would like to join. I would love to get someone on from the chat.
Can I read Kabbalah now?
You can hold off on that. I'm reading the comments. I think the comments are interesting. The comments like to be read, Judas. If you read the comments, more comments come. If you read Kabbalah, nothing happens. Do you know why Judas has 0 followers? Or not 0 followers, but it's like when he streams, he has like 0 stream viewers. I don't know. It's because he doesn't really interact with the chat. He largely kind of phases them out. But we can do a little Kabbalah. Here, sure. Can you give me 5 minutes of Kabbalah, Judas? Judas. Give me the littest fitting.
Yeah, this is part of it. Yeah, Hanukkah's part of that. You'll see. This name can be analyzed as matat. Matat means gift plus yud k, yud and k above the first 3 letters of God's name. Thus, it means gift of God. The Hashmoneans, the Maccabees, who are led by Mattatyahu, had a strength given by God. The gematria of Mattatyahu is 861, which equals that of Rosh Hashanah and Beit HaMikdash, the Holy Temple. Rosh Hashanah is the point in time, and Beit HaMikdash the point in space at which the gifts of God come down to mankind. The name of God, Elohim, indicates the aspect of Gevurah, strict justice, severity, strictness, with inviolable laws of nature. Its gematria is 86. Multiplying this by 10, representing all 10 worlds, gives 860. Thus, 861 indicates going beyond what is observed by natural law, receiving the gift of God. The small gematria of Mattatyahu is 8 plus 6 plus 1 is 15, which is the gematria of one of the names of God, Ka, Yud, and He. This is another hint of the divine potential of this name. The small gematria of 15 is 1 plus 5 is 6, which refers to the 6th sphere, Yesod. Yesod is the sphere of Joseph, whose gematria is 6 times 26, 6 times the name of God. Thus, we find a particular connection between Mattatyahu and Yosef. This connection is also seen in the other form of Yosef's name, Yehoseph. The difference between Yosef and Yehoseph is the additional He, which Yosef earned by overcoming the temptation of Potiphar's wife, just as we find with Yud, He, and Vav, the first 3 letters of God's name at the end of Mattatyahu, so too we find them at the beginning of Yehoseph. The name Yehoseph can be analyzed as Yud and He and Vav plus Saf, which means vessel. Thus, while Mattatyahu means gift of God, Yehoseph means a vessel to receive the gift of God. This connection between Yosef and Mattatyahu is one reason why in the yearly cycle of Torah readings the story of Yosef is always read at Hanukkah time. Both Yosef and Mattatyahu stand for sexual purity. Yosef overcame his evil inclination and the enticements of Potiphar's wife. He was given power over the Egyptians, who were infamous for their immorality. Mattatyahu, in the miracle of Hanukkah, overcame the Greeks. This is the whole connection with Thanksgiving. Like, the Greeks do Thanksgiving, man. The modern day Greeks do Thanksgiving. And one whose main goal was to destroy the purity of the Jewish people. For example, the Greeks decreed that every new bride had to be defiled by the local Greek governor. Yud and He and Vav are also the first letters of the word Yehudi, Jew. This word can be analyzed as Yud and He and Vav plus Yad, which means hand. A Jew is like the hand of God, since he performs God's will. Thus, Yehudi and Yehoseph are closely related in meaning. Yehoseph is a vessel to receive the gift of God, and Yehudi is a hand to receive the gift of God. The The letters Yud and Hey and Vav represent respectively the upper three of the 10 Sefirot, Chachma, Bina, and Dat. I'm not going to bother translating those. The Vav of Dat is a connection between Hanukkah and Bina. And so, in summary, Matityahu represents the power of giving, influencing others with divine gifts and attributes. The name alludes to the harmony of Chachma, Bina, and Dat. That's what it says. Do you have name requests?
Hold on. Hello.
Yes.
Alright. Regarding infinite forgiveness, you might consider reading Paul's letter to the Romans, says Persian Drum. The kapara is provided by Hashem and Moshiach. Chris Alden says fats are materialistic compared to Protestantism. Yeah. Interesting. What are your thoughts on fraternities and the idea of brotherhood?
Your most precious possession is your own people.
Mm. Did you read a sufficient amount of Kabbalah, would you say?
No.
Okay, would you like to read a little more?
Yeah.
Alright. Should
I read a name or should I read about like names in Judaism?
Whatever you think would be the most poignant thing that could fit into the next 5 minutes, from 4 o'clock to 4:05.
The significance of a name. Our sages teach that when a man dies, the angel of death smites his grave and says, "Arise and tell me your name." If he has forgotten, he is placed on trial. This account gives rise to a number of questions. Why doesn't the angel of death, the Malach HaMavet, ask why the deceased accomplished during his life? Why doesn't he examine the quality of his deeds? Why is recalling one's name so crucial? What may cause the deceased to forget his name? To answer these questions, we must first embark on a fascinating journey into the exciting world of Hebrew letters and words. As the deeper meanings of these remarkable entities are revealed, breathtaking panoramas unfold and vast storehouses of knowledge open. The author of Arvei Nahal offers deep insight into the significance of Hebrew letters and names. He writes, every entity in the universe draws its vitality from a spiritual root. The channel through which this life force flows to one's soul are the letters of his name, which combine to form pipes or tubes. When one observes the Torah's commandments, his life force expands, and the letters of his names acquire what is known as filling or padding. If he sins, the letters discharge this filling. When this occurs, his life force shrivels, and the letters of his names form negative combinations corresponding to the names of the Sitra Achra, the evil forces. If he continues to sin, the main letters of his name crumble. If he falls so low that all the letters of his name disintegrate, the pipes which connect him to his spiritual roots cease to function, and he dies. The book of our lives. It is written, the Bible in Genesis chapter 5 verse 1 writes, Zeh Sefer Toldot Adam. This is the book of the generations of Adam, man. The word Sefer has the same numerical value as Shem, name. Sefer means book, Shem means name. The very word Shem, name, as we have begun to see, contains a wealth of information about the importance of a person's name and the way in which it influences his behavior in life. This information is revealed by calculating the numerical value of Shem according to a number of different methods. Skipping over this. The overall effects of letters on man emerges from the writings of Rabbi Chaim Vital, who was the main student of the Arizal. He explains that letters are an integral part of the human makeup, penetrating every facet of man's soul. In his Shar Ruach HaKodesh, he writes, the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet are embedded in man's being in a number of duplicate sets. One set is located in the lowest faculty of the human soul called Nefesh. Another set is found in his Ruach, a higher faculty, and another one is Neshama, the highest faculty. It is important to note that these letters remain not only in the soul, but may also appear on a man's forehead. Scholars well versed in the science of facial expressions can determine a man's spiritual state by examining the order and condition of the letters as they appear on his forehead. This is known as Chachma HaPartzuf. Previously spoken about the ability of Hebrew letters to acquire filling or padding. This process is affected by two. Let's get back. The prophecy in the name. In Sefer HaGilgulim, the Arizal says that one's name and that which is written on the divine throne of honor, from which was hewn his soul. He further explains that the name given a child is not a random choice, but rather that which Hashem purposely placed in the mouths of his parents. It is named the child's pure soul. The Arizal also writes, however, that every individual has an additional name which stems from the forces of impurity, Tuma, Koho HaTuma. Man is forbidden to identify this evil force. He's bidden to identify this evil force and to remove it from his pure soul. There are those who merit the knowledge of their negative names. They recognize their faults and know what they must combat within their personalities. Others, however, are oblivious to their task in life and are punished at their graveside for not knowing their name. The Arizal comments on the links between a man's name and his soul appear in a number of times in the Zohar. In part 4, page 2, the Zohar reads, Rabbi Elazar, arise to say Torah thoughts before the Shekhinah, so that you will be of help to your father, as your name signifies Elazar. Elazar has the same letter as Ezer Kel, which means he helped to God. In another place in the Zohar, the meaning of a name is revealed by its numerical value, as it is written, let Rabbi Yossi rise with you, because he is a perfect chair for his master, since the numerical value of Yosef is equal to Hakise, the chair, and is also equal to Elohim, Hashem. The names of the prophets allude to their main functions. The name Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah, for instance, refers to the destruction of the sanctuary. Therefore, the name of that prophet who prophesies is Yirmiyahu, spelled with the... This is Zohar now. It's spelled Yirmiyahu, spelled with the letters
Judas,
Yarum,
I'm extending your 5 minutes for good content. Keep going.
Which means Hashem will be lifted up. This refers to the disappearance of the divine light as it rises up and away from our world. That is Zohar, part 3, page 179, side B. Jeremiah's name then alludes to the disappearance of the Shekhinah, the open perception of Hashem's existence and Hashgacha Pratit, his divine providence. That's what Shekhinah means, divine presence. That's what that means. On the other hand, the name Yeshayahu, Isaiah, foretells salvation and comfort, as we learn in the Zohar. The name Yeshayahu can be broken down into the word Yeshakahu, which means that Hashem will bring salvation. Yesha means salvation. This name then is a factor in bringing about the Geula, the redemption, the Ketz HaGalut, the termination of the Galut, returning the divine light to its place, and the rebuilding of the Beit HaMikdash in Yerushalayim. At the end of its discussion of the above topic, the Zohar mentions the rule known as Shema Garim. Names have an effect, for good or for bad. The letters of the names not only conceal supernal secrets, but they themselves may bring about the revelation of these secrets. The Gaon of Vilna explained the above rule to mean that one's name affects the nature of its predetermined mission. This insight is very important because once a person understands that his name is God-given and divinely matches his particular characteristics and mission, he will have a permanent sense of his identity and never worry that others might encroach upon his dominion. That a man's name is predetermined does not, of course, affect his free will. The very few principle of free will is an integral part of Hebrew linguistics. Many Hebrew words contain the same letters, but assume opposite meanings and connotations when the order of the letters is changed. Thus, the word Shema, in its negative aspect, alludes to decimation, while the word Hashem implies everlasting existence. This corresponds to the free choice that one may exercise in his life, for better or for worse. A perfect example of this phenomenon is the word Bahar, which means choose, which exemplifies the positive and negative potential of a word and alludes to a man's freedom to adopt whichever aspect he wishes. The letters of Bahar can be arranged as Harif, destroyed, or as Haver, friend, meaning that man can bring either destruction or amenity to the world. His free will is the sole determinant. In the same manner, words with contrasting meanings can have the same numerical values, such as Mashiach, Messiah, and Nahash, snake, serpent, as in of Eden, both equal to 358, and Shalom and Esav, Esau, Jacob's brother, whose values both equal 376. When a person is drawn to his pure soul, its name becomes his main one, and will not separate from him even after he dies. If he is pulled towards his animal-like soul, then the negative aspect of his name gains
So this
primacy.
is kind of like the id, the Freudian id, almost.
What do you mean?
Never mind. Go ahead.
Gains primacy. During his lifetime, he calls the holy name given to him by his parents, but forgets it immediately upon his death. But he does not know his other name either, because he never heard of it during his lifetime. That is why he cannot answer the question, the Malach HaMavet, the angel of death. The name of every individual is somehow alluded to in scripture. Rabbi Hillel of Shklov writes the following regarding his saintly teacher. The Gaon of Vilna knew the locations of the verses of the names of each and every Jew who is destined by heaven to fill a divine mission of salvation for Israel, or concerning the ingathering of the exiles, the kibbutz hagoliot. He regarded each hint as sacred and prophetic, as it were the council of the Urim V'Tumim, according to the above principle Shema Garim. The name is a determining factor. The Gaon, whose name was Eliyahu ben Shlomo, revealed that his own name is hinted to by the verse, Evan Shlema V'Sedek Yeheh Lecha. You have a perfect stone for measures in righteousness. The word Evan is an acronym for Ben Eliyahu, because Evan is Aleph and then Ben. While the next word Shlema is expelled exactly as the name of his father, Shlomo. The verse Berachmin Gadolim Akabasecha, with great mercy shall I gather you, from the Haftarah of the same weekly portion, Isaiah chapter 54, verse 7, also alludes to his name, in that the numerical values of all its letters equal that to his full name, Eliyahu ben Shlomo Zalman. While the words indicate his mission in life, namely to help Israel return to the Promised Land. On the basis of this information, continues Rabbi Hillel, individuals will know how to fulfill their singular missions. As the period Ikveta, the Mashiach, the Achir Yom, the end of days, the time right before the Galut ends, draws closer. More and more numerical hints, alluding to general and private destinies, will be revealed. As we have seen, each person is to be asked, following his ascent to the heavenly court, if he fulfilled his mission as spelled out by the letters of his names. In reference to this idea, the Shlach wrote as follows: a precious method that will help one not forget his name/mission is to recite each day, following the Shemona Esrei prayer, a verse that begins with the first letter of his name and that ends with the last letter of his name. For instance, one whose name is Yitzchak should recite this following verse, as it begins with Yud and ends with Kuf.
Interesting. So let's see. You and someone in the comments wanted me to elaborate on the id, and the concept of the id basically is the lower self, the instinctual lower self. And let's see. Yeah, that was a really interesting read, Judas. If you'd like to keep going for a little bit, feel free to.
And it is recounted in the Talmud that Rabbi Inyoma, page 83, side B, that Rav Meir arrived with some rabbinic colleagues at a certain inn under the management of the Goy, Kidor. Rav Meir became immediately suspicious, for he remembered the verse, "A generation of untrustworthy sons, Kidor starts with Kidor." He attempted to warn his companions that the innkeeper was not to be trusted, but to no avail. Ultimately, Rav Meir removed his belongings to a safer location, while those of his colleagues were stolen. The Vilna Gaon wrote that Rav Meir apparently, since the gematria of Kidor is 240, just as Amalek is 240, and so came the gematria appropriate conclusion. Rav Meir himself had a name that could be interpreted for either good or bad. Meir means illuminate, as with the light of Torah, but his letters can be rearranged to spell Remai, meaning a cheater. We all enjoy to bring out the full potential of the positive aspects of our names and to subdue the negative nature thereof. A seeming contradiction to the principle of Shemagarim is found in the following midrash. Rav Yossi ben Hanina said, "There are 4 categories of names. There are those whose names are beautiful and whose actions are praiseworthy, and there are those whose names are ugly and whose actions are reprehensible. There are those whose names are beautiful and whose actions are reprehensible, and there are those whose names are ugly but whose actions are praiseworthy." Isaf, from the root meaning to accomplish, and Yishmael, meaning God will hear, are examples of men with beautiful names and sinful deeds. This is the Midrash speaking. Those who joined Ezra in the building of the Beit HaMikdash had unattractive names such as Bakbuk, Hafuka, and Harhor, yet participated in a momentous mitzvah. Examples of those with ugly names and ugly actions were the scouts sent by Moshe, such as Sitor, being torn down, while examples of those with beautiful names and matching deeds were the 12 tribes, such as Reuven, and see the difference, meaning Reuven means see the difference between Reuven, the righteous son, and Esau. If the name is a determining factor, how is it that there are those whose deeds do not match their names? The answer to this contradiction is that the names of Yishmael, Bakbuk, and others are listed here specifically because they are exceptions to the general rule of Shemagarim. Korach, the contentious rebel against Moshe during the Sinai journey to the Promised Land, bears a name most representative of his many negative traits. The first 2 letters, Kuf and Resh, are taken from the word Sheker, meaning falsehood, while Het is the initial of the word Het, sin. He is, in fact, called Karha, a desolation within Israel, where he attempted to sow the seeds of dispersion between God's chosen leaders. On the other hand, the gematria of the Korah means with Korah is 2 plus 100 plus 6 plus 200 plus 8, 316, the same as the name of the founder of Christianity, Yeshu, which is 10 plus 300 plus 6. Big Korach is equal to Yeshu, Jesus. This brings out the similarity between Korach's fight and Christianity's, to eradicate the Torah of Moses in general, and the oral law in particular, which is also the goal of the era of Rav. The fact remains, however, that Korah had within him the potential to accomplish great things. The gematria of his name is 100 plus 2, 200 plus 8, 308, the same as that of Eleazar, which means to help God, signifying that he had the potential for that too. The dispute between Korah and Moshe revolved around the arrogance of Korah as opposed to the humility of Moshe. Korah starts with the letter Kuf, the letter of Kina, jealousy, while Moshe was Anav bin Kol Adam. He was more humble than any other man. It begins and ends with the letter Mem and Hey, Ma, which means what, referring to a minute quantity. The Maharal explains that the name Moshe, Mem, Shin, and Hey, tells us that he was totally removed from the material world. It derives from the word Meshitihu, which Pharaoh's daughter used to describe her action of pulling baby Moses out of the water depiction of his ascent from the physical world. What's seen in this light, the following midrashic passage takes on a fascinating bent. The first, a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, which is Proverbs chapter 22, verse 1. The first says Shemot Rabbah to Moshe's overcoming Korah. About this is what writes the Midrash about Moses is written, and I know you by name. Said Hashem to Korach, because you are wealthy, you think you have cause to be arrogant? Moshe's good name has been chosen rather than your great wealth. But Moshe did not rest on his laurels. The Shema writes that when he went up to Mount Nebo at the end of his life to seek the Holy Land, he acquired the letter Nun for its name, which then became Nun and Moshe, or the letters of Neshama, soul. This request was alluded to by the name of the mountain, Nebo, meaning Nun Bo, which means the letter Nun is within him. Korah, on the other hand, relied too strongly on his intellectual powers, involved himself too much in hekir, investigation, and therefore became rahok, distant, estranged from the way of truth as represented by Moshe. And then there's a section about Satan.
Read about Satan.
Alright, this gets so metal. This is why I'm obsessed with Judaism. Oh, there's even more, dude. Just gold. If you like what I'm saying, like right now, like, dude,
Yeah, it's
stuff,
pretty interesting stuff. I like the bit about beautiful names and to act versus actions. Well, it looks like Judas cut out. Unfortunately, my tablet died. So, looks like I'll be leaving this here. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Good having you. Good having you in the audience. Yeah, good, fun time. Is going to be continued on Judas's channel, known as what is going to be called the Kabbalah stream, I believe. So stay tuned for that. He will post the link in the comment section.